What contracts do you need for your website? I'm Danya Shakfeh. I'm a business attorney at Motiva Business Law based in Oak Brook, and today I'm going to talk to you what contracts or what policies you need for your website. Now, the first and probably most common one that you'll see on a website is a type of contract called terms of service or terms and conditions. Legally, they are contracts. So the actual verbiage really doesn't matter. Now that we know that we're talking about the same thing, terms and conditions or terms of service of the website are basically what the company or the website owner is going to require of its users in order to use the services that the company or the website provides. The most common terms include the terms of the usage of the content or the data from the website. So there's going to be an intellectual property clause. So for example, if a website is providing data, then who owns that data and how can the user use it? Are they allowed to use it for their own good? So a common example that we probably deal with on a regular basis are websites that provide pictures or images. And those websites are going to be very clear about who owns the images. Are the images owned by the person who took the photos and the website is merely a conduit to share the photos? Or is it owned by the website owners, the company itself? And people who want to use the photos have to actually get a license from the company itself, like Shutterstock or Getty Images or something like that. And then of course, any indemnities or disclaimers that involves that IP. Another common term that you'll see in terms of conditions or terms of service are going to be a community standard or community policy. So in the case of a website that involves user interaction. So think of something even like Facebook. They have a community standard where people are polite to each other or they don't harass each other, and then if a user violates those policies or those rules, that their account can be subject to suspension or termination. Another example of common policies on terms of conditions or terms of service on websites will involve payment. So if you're buying something through a website, what happens if a customer is not satisfied with a product? What's the return policy? What's the payment policy? Is the website or the company that owns the website, are they allowed to automatically charge the credit card under certain circumstances? So like I said before, terms and conditions or terms of service are really contracts that people typically sign. But because the consumers or the users are coming in large quantities, then the like the website and the company that owns the website, they are not going to have everyone sign a contract because that would be tedious and nobody really wants to do that. So the best way is basically saying, if you use our website, you're using our website or you're using our content or using our data is your way of accepting the terms of service or terms and conditions of our website. Now, the second most common kind of policy that you'll find are going to be privacy policies. And I often do these together and they're often linked because once a website user provides any information, that information could be used by a company. So again, think of something like Facebook. They're using your data, they're using their pictures. So they are collecting it. So the website has to disclose what information they're keeping and how they're using it. Are they selling it to third parties? Are they going to have any rights over the images? Are they going to own your content? Can they reuse your content in their own way? What can they do and what can be done? And are they tracking your geographic location? Are they storing your credit cards? Are they storing your emails? Are they going to add you to an email list? So all of these things are put into the website privacy policies. Now, one thing to be careful about is that there are a lot of different types of laws. When you're dealing with the internet, you don't know where people are. So now as far as the United States, there's going to be, most of the United States follows the same laws, except California is known to have its own laws. Specifically, like a difference in the age requirements, or like the minimum age requirements of being able to use a website. It's 13 versus other parts of the country it's going to be 16. And there are more disclosures that are required, and California users have more rights. Now, California, they don't really care if your business or your website operates out of California. They're more concerned that a California user is using your website. Since you can't really track, most companies will have both like the national one and the California one, knowing that people from California are going to visit the website. Unless you can actually stop people from California coming to your website if you don't want to be subject to California laws. Most people don't do that, and they just include the California laws. Now, if you are operating in Europe in any way, then you have to follow the GDPR. GDPR stands for General Data Protection Regulation. This is specific to the European Union. The United Kingdom has its own but similar privacy laws, and since they have their own rules, if you're going to be operating from there, or if you are going to expect users coming to your website, then you also want to comply with the GDPR. And you also have to have a cookie policy, informing your users that you are keeping track of their cookies. If you don't know what a cookie is, basically it's a little tidbit of information that the website can store in your computer to keep track of your activities, and it affects how they advertise to you and other activities. So to sum it up, you're going to want terms and conditions in terms of service for your website, and it's really going to depend on what you do and what service or data you provide, and then you'll also need privacy policies and a cookie policy, and you want to comply. Usually I tell people at least with the United States, you want California, and if you're going to expect users from the European Union, then you also want to comply with the GDPR. If you have any questions, or you need a contract for your website, or you need privacy policies for your website, you can contact us at 630-517-5529, or email me, Danya at motivalaw.com.